girls, welcome back to A Fresh Start for Your Creative Heart. This is class number 2, and I'm just going to take a moment to recap a little bit for you before we move in to the rest of the class. So last week we talked about the things that are in your purse, like regret and fear, and how we carry these rocks around and change our purse out. We don't deal with this stuff, and it's getting really heavy. But we also talked about how it doesn't define us. Even being broken, it's not going to define you. We talked about shifting our focus. So when we're working on our mission statement for our life, these things they're going to play a role to a certain degree. But what I want you to realize is it's not defining you at all, like at all. I've been through it all, I've seen it all, I've probably done it all, and I'm not letting all those bad things define me. So I hope you're kind of laughing about that. But it's been a rough ride, girls, and I'll always be really honest with you. And I really love doing this class with you because I get to share with you really truthfully and validate you and what you're going through, what you're struggling with. Because sometimes when we're going through junk, we feel like we're all alone. And you're not, believe me. There's oodles of us out there that have been through really bad stuff, and you can come out on the other side, meeting your goals and being creative and really having the life that you want. So we also talked about how this is you, and when you're going through a lot of junk, how you become layered and hardened, but we're trading that out for these layers to be boundaries and having healthy boundaries. We'd only talked about boundaries for a minute last week, so what I decided to do is add some links underneath this video to some articles that I think will be really, really helpful for you. Boundaries are extremely important in your life. They keep you healthy and they protect you. So I will be bringing up boundaries throughout the class just as it's relevant and to make a point. It's not the objective of the class. The objective of the class is for you to define yourself and to find your voice. Now, one of the things that I want you to think about is when you are working on your mission statement, remember last week how I said have a column for your strengths, your passions. Another column was your goals or your bucket list and the things that you value. When you're looking at your goals, I want you to come out of this with a newfound confidence in who you are. Now, you will become confident as you're finding your voice, as you start to feel good about yourself. Years ago, I was a personal trainer, and it was one of the most amazing things to see someone become more confident because they were becoming physically stronger or developing endurance. Now, you can apply that to your emotional and creative self as well. As you are exploring your art or you're meeting your goals with your projects, you are going to become more confident. Each time you get something done off of your list, it enables you to continue on and it strengthens you as you're continuing on. So that's really neat too. When you're on this path of defining yourself, please give yourself a lot of grace to change things along the path. Some things as you're working, you're going to find, well, that's not as important to me now as it, once was. And it's okay to change things. When you're working through the things in your life that hold you back, let's use brokenness for example. You're going to find that you're going to have a different perspective as you heal and as you grow. And you're going to want to work really regularly in your journal and on that mission statement of your life. Now, if you're a person that hasn't had a lot of brokenness, maybe you're just here because you want to work on having goals and defining yourself and finding your voice for a business or a different creative aspect of your life, you'll find that you don't need to work as hard at it as somebody that is dealing with brokenness. When you're dealing with brokenness, sometimes it is so incredibly hard to find yourself. And that's again where these boundaries come in. So let's touch back on the boundaries. Boundaries are like when you're playing the game of life. Now, for the first 25 to 30 years of my life, I had someone dictating the rules of the game to me. They were not healthy rules, so healthy boundaries. And they were quite the opposite, a lot of abuse and neglect. So what that did is it caused me to have no sense of self and no sense of having the voice, of having the right to express myself. So if you have that kind of thing going on, I want you to tell that person, no, take your toys and go home. I'm not playing the game that way. And I give you permission to do that. One of the funny things about people that have been extremely broken is that they need permission. And I did. I'll be really honest with you here in this class. And I want you to learn from my experiences and my mistakes and from the things that I had to work through. You have that right. You have that absolute right to say no and to say this does not work for me. I'm not doing it that way. This goes into choice and the choices that you make when you're writing the mission statement for your life. Everything in your life is a choice. How you're going to live your life, that is up to you. And it is your God-given right to make your own choices. So that's why it's so important not to have somebody telling you this is how you're going to play the game. Now, of course, there are a few basic rules of the game of life that we all know, and pretty much it's like the golden rule. You know, everybody tries to go by that as best as they can. I'm not talking about those kind of things, though. I'm talking about the people that infringe upon you their own agenda so that you are left invalidated, you are not able to work through being creative and reaching your goals, and you're not having a voice. So take a moment just to think about those things, and we're going to start talking more about how to put this mission statement together now. What I want you to do is have the absolute freedom to write it in any manner that you want to. If you want to write it like a song or a story or even a poem, you can. I just kind of wrote mine out. I just wrote out what was on my heart, almost like in a journal form. And then one of my girlfriends saw it, and she actually typed it up and put it in a frame for me. And I got it out, to start working on this class, and I was surprised how little had changed in the last 8 years since I had written that out. And I guess it shouldn't surprise me, but I thought, wow, you know what? I really did have a good sense of who I am and what I value and what matters to me. And that's a big chunk of what this class is it's taking time to listen to yourself. So right here, I want you to pause. If you haven't finished writing those things out, we're going to pause here so that you can write. You can add a few more things to your list, and then I want you to meet me right over at the next video, okay? I'll see you right there.